Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Adda. Today in this video we are going to discuss about masking. So first of all we are going to see what is masking, what are the use cases of masking, and then we'll see how we can mask certain fields of a API response that we develop in a Spring Boot application. So first of all we are going to discuss about the masking and its use cases, and then practically we'll try to create a Spring Boot application. There we'll try to develop a API, and that API returns certain response. We'll try to mask certain sensitive fields of that response. So how we can do that? We are going to see that things. So let's get started for that. So first of all, let me try to discuss about masking. So what is masking? Masking in the context of data processing refers to the practice of hiding or obfuscating certain parts of data to protect sensitive information. So masking is nothing but it's a kind of hiding or obfuscating. Obfuscating means trying to encrypt or encode certain piece of data to protect it out. Okay. So like obfuscating means making that piece of data unclear to the user, either by encoding or encrypting. So you can do those things. So masking is nothing but it's a kind of practice of hiding or obfuscating certain part of data to protect sensitive information. Okay, so this is commonly done to comply with the privacy regulation, protect personal data, or prevent sensitive information from being exposed in the logs, database, or API responses. So this is what masking is. Now let me try to discuss about the use cases of masking. So the first use case is protecting personal identifiable information. Okay, and that means masking sensitive fields like social security numbers, credit card numbers, or email addresses. Okay, now the second use case is compliance, ensuring that data handling comply with the law of GDPR or HIPAA. So let's say GDPR has framed certain rules when you are going to display the data. So how we can comply with those rules? The masking will help in that. Coming to the loggings, preventing sensitive information from being exposed in the application log. And then we are going to discuss the steps to implement the masking in a Spring Boot application. So first of all, first of all, we are going to develop a Spring Boot application. Okay, and we'll try to develop a API. We'll try to return certain information in that response of the API, and then later on we'll try to see how we can implement masking on certain fields of the response of API. Okay, so this is what the steps we are going to implement here. So let's get started for that. Let me try to come out of it and go to the IntelliJ and try to perform masking. Okay, so just go to the file, new and project. So here let me try to tell you that I'm using IntelliJ Ultimate version. So directly I can create the Spring Boot application here itself. If you're not using it out, you can go to the start.spring.io website, and the same page will open up. You can create the application from there. So let me try to create the application called masking fields of response, fields of API response. Okay, now just select the Maven here. Go next. I'm selecting Spring Web, and we also need the Jackson, but I don't think it is here in the Spring Boot. So you cannot select that Jackson starter dependency from here itself. So what I did is I already have noted down those Jackson dependency that we need. So you can use this one, or what you can do is you can go to the browser and try to search for the Jackson data bind and Jackson annotation, so you can find this dependency from the Maven repository. Or what you can do is I will provide a link of this repository that we are going to develop here in the description of this video, so you can directly go there and try to have a look. So this is the dependency that I need. Let me try to also add Lombok here, and we are good. Just open up the application, and it will take few seconds of your time to configure your application. So just wait for that. Once it is configured, and it downloaded all the starter dependency that we added. We can start doing our development here. So before going to do that, let me try to close this one, and we are good. And here let me try to develop a API. Okay, so first of all, let me try to create one let's say DTO, which is saying user details. Okay, and let me try to have some fields here like username and user email. Okay, and then let's say user contact number. Okay, so these three fields I have created here for the user details. Now let me try to use Lombok and try to create all argument constructor, no argument constructor, and for getter and setters and toString I am going to use the data, or directly you can use the getter and setter as well. So those things also you can do. So these all these all annotations will help us in creating getter and setters and all argument, no argument constructor, and data will try to help us creating the toString. Okay, so we are good now. Now let me try to create a service here, and then we'll create the controller finally. So here say it is user service, and inside this service what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a method. So let me annotate this with @service annotation, and I'm going to create a method which will be returning the list of user, or you can say a single user. Okay, so let's say get user detail, and it is returning the DTO that we have created, which is user details, user details. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a user detail object. So I'm going to hard code this value here. So let's say user detail dot set, and what we are going to set is set username first, and let's say it is Aman, and going to set the email, which is let's say aman@example.com, and then user detail dot set its number, which is let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, okay, so this is what the number is. Now let's say it is returning the user details. So we are good now. What we did is this method is trying to create a user detail object and then try to append the values like username, email, and contact number. Okay, now let me try to go to the package and create a controller here. So just going to create the user controller. Just annotate this with @REST controller, and then here let me try to auto wire the user service. Okay, and then I'm going to create a method which is returning the user details, get user details, and we are going to call the user service dot get user details method of the user service, and let me try to make this as a get mapping, and let's say it is user. Okay, and then simply return it out. So what we are going to do here is we are just creating one API called user, and it is calling the user service get user details method, and inside that we are having one object of the user details that we are appending some values here and then try to return it out. Now let me try to run this application and try to hit the API, and then after that we'll see the response, and then we'll see how we can mask certain fields. Okay, so just let me try to wait. So here you can see our application is up on the port number 8080. Now what you can do is you can directly go to the controller layer, and here in this Spring Boot application, I can find this option where I can directly go and hit out my API. If you're not getting this option, what you can do is you can open the Postman and try to hit this API. Or this is the get API, and we are not passing any values as a path variable or request parameter, so you can directly go to the browser and try to hit this API. So anything is fine, you can do that. So let me try to hit this API, and here you can see in the response we are getting 200, and in the response we are getting the user details where we are having the username, email and contact number. Now we want to mask this contact number, or let's say username and contact number, user details, user email and contact number. So both of the fields we want to mask. So how we can do that? So that is what we are going to do now. Because these are the sensitive informations, we cannot show, or we cannot we cannot display it in the response of the API. We cannot save it in the database. So how we can mask this out before saving or displaying in the response of the API? That is what we are going to do here. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a masking annotation that will identify that this field is being masked. Okay. So first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to define a masking annotation. We'll create a custom annotation to mask the field that need masking. And then we'll create a masking serializer. And for that only we need this Jackson dependency. Okay. So there are two steps. One is we are going to create a masking annotation that help us annotating the field that we want to mask, and then we'll try to create a masking serializer that will help us handling the masking logic. Okay, how we want to apply the masking. So that is what we are going to do here. So let me try to create the masking annotation first. So if you don't know how to create a custom annotation, let me try to tell you. So it is a very simple thing. So just create an interface. Let's say it is a mask interface, and let me try to annotate this with @mask. Okay, and then here what you have to do is you have to define the target and retention of this annotation. So let me try to define that. So let's say the target is the target that we want to put for this annotation is field level target. Okay, so just use this annotation called target and provide the element type as a field. Okay, and we also have to provide the retention here. So retention is, I'm going to do the retention policy as a runtime. So just try to see runtime, import this retention policy. Okay, and we are good. If you want to provide some particular value or default value for this annotation, you can add this value method inside this interface, and you can define the default value that method want to return. But we are not going to do that thing here. We are simply creating this annotation to identify the field that we want to mask. That's it. Now the second step is we are going to create a masking serializer. So just create a class called let's say it is a masking serializer that will extend the JSON serializer. So just call this masking serializer. Okay, and it will extend the JSON serializer. So we need to add those dependency. I have not added it out. Okay, so just I think it is importing the same. Again, let me try to see what things we have to do. We have to implement on serialize method, and we are good now. Okay, and here you can see this serialize method is sending the string as, and then generator, and then we have the serializer provider. Okay, so let me try to go to the pom.xml, and we have wave and lombok, right? And this Jackson one is automatically picking up. So if we go to the masking serializer, this Jackson dependency is automatically coming up. So I don't think we need to add this dependency, but for the safer side, what you can do is you can keep this with you and try to add it out if it is not working. So let me try to write the logic here to mask our data. Okay, so let's say this is string as is nothing but it's a value that we want to mask. So let me try to change it to the value, and here let's say I'm going to put a condition called value if not equal to null. Then we want to mask it with some value, with some what I would say with some string. Okay, so let's say we have this JSON generator dot write string, and then inside that string what you can do is you can pass the value that you want to put as a masking. So let's say we want to put masking as a star, 5 star. Okay, so we are good, and we are good now. Just save this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to this user details DTO, and here let's say we want to mask this contact number. So what we have to do is we have to do one thing. One is we have to identify this field that we are going to mask with the @mask annotation that we created. And then the second thing that we need to do is we need to provide this JSON serializer here. So just let's say using masking serializer, that class we have created, the same class we have to provide here. Okay, so just say masking serializer dot class, and we are good. Now let me try to run this application again and try to hit the API and then see. After that I will try to explain you the things that we have developed here. So just go to the controller again, and we already have opened this API, right? Let me try to hit it out, and here you can see that contact number is masked. Okay, that means we are not getting the contact number here as the response of the API. So this contact number field is being masked now. So how we are able to do that? So first of all, what we did is we created one annotation, and this purpose of this annotation is nothing but it is just a annotation that will identify the field that we want to mask. As simple as that. So when we are going to mask this contact number, we just annotated this field with @mask, and then the main purpose of masking is being done here when we are implementing the masking serializer. So when we created this masking serializer class and extended it out with the JSON serializer, we have to override this serialize method, and inside this method it's already passing this string value, JSON generator, and serialize provider. with the help of value, we are checking that the value that we want to mask is null or not. If it is not null, we want to just mask that value with this value that we have provided here, okay, which is 5-star here. And then we are going to the DTO and we are going to that particular field which we want to mask. So here in this case, we want to mask this contact number. So that is where we are using this @JSON serialized annotation, and inside that we are telling this annotation that we are using masking serializer class that we have developed to mask this field. That is what we are doing here. So this is how we are able to mask the field of a response. If you want to mask this email as well, so what you can do is you can use mask annotation and then JSON serialize using equal to masking serializer.class, and then run this application again and then try to hit the API. Now if you'll again hit this API, you will see that both of the fields are masked. You can see that only we are able to see the username, user email and contact number are masked. Even when we are having those details here, if you'll go to the service, you will see that we are putting this username as Aman and email is aman@example.com and the contact number is also there. But when we are trying to get the response of the API, we are able to see the masked response. How? Because when we are applying this JSON serialized annotation at the fields level, it is going to this particular masking serializer class, and inside that class we have the serialized method, and inside that method we are able to mask the value of the particular field. So this is how you can perform the masking of a field of a response in a Spring Boot application. So this is about the video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button, and there are so many videos I have created on encryption and decryption, which also help us in securing the response of your API. So you can watch those videos as well. So this is about the video. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.